That's my blessing to you. Let the entire cosmos be yours. Why are you stingy? Why are you even stingy in your greediness? At least in your greed, be boundless. Huh? I'm not saying generosity, I'm saying greed. At least in your greed, let there be no limit, that you want everything to be yours. That's greed, ultimate. That's my blessing. May you become greedy in a limitless way. Why are you stingy even on your greed? Stupid.
Namaskaram, Sadhguru. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I have a question regarding the book, and I wanted to know, like, if we read the book, as I've read it and I'm doing the practices in the book, how do they help versus the programs that we have? And if someone's reading the book and doing the practices, is that enough, or what is it that they need to do next?
The practice that is taught in the inner engineering program needs 21 minutes. You need to sit in one place and do it. It is of a different nature. It is a process which can change, to start with, the chemistry of your system. Many of you have experienced this. After a few months of practice, if you look back and see all those little things which were so significant don't seem to bother you anymore, they're just gone, simply because the chemistry has changed. You know, when chemistry changes, things change. In whatever way you have known it. But there are other dimensions to human chemistry, that instead of being a volatile, reactive chemistry, can become a very self-contained chemistry, which is pleasant and on. The practices in the book are not sitting down and doing practices, you could be doing it anywhere. You could be driving, you could be working in your office, you could be walking on the street and still be doing it. They're of that nature. Or in other words, the practices in the book are just to bring a certain amount of consciousness. The book did not have these practices to start with, but when I traveled around in America, everybody was talking about being mindful. Then I saw by being mindful what they will do to themselves. My entire work is to bring you to a certain sense of abandon, that you can be here like you're not here. If you sit here, you don't even know whether your body is here. If you sit like this, first thing is you don't have a gender. You don't even have a body, so where is the question of a gender? If you simply sit like this, there is no time for you. Just look at this. Only because you have a body, your body is keeping time, Your legs are telling you how long you've been sitting, yes or no? Huh? Suppose you had no legs, you would have no sense of time. If you had no back, no sense of time at all. If you had no body, no time at all, isn't it? Your body is keeping time. From womb to tomb, it is keeping time. From bathroom break to bathroom break, it is keeping time. From wake up to sleep, it is keeping time, yes or no? Once it's time, it'll do ah. You don't have to look at the watch. Once a certain time is up, your body will do yes or no? Right now, you've seen that old time machines with sand trickling away? Like that, the bladder is keeping time. Drop, drop, drop. As it fills up, you know what's the time. Legs are keeping the time. If you've done your practices regularly, I mean the program practices, not the book practices. If you've done the program practices regularly, your legs can deceive time. Your legs don't know what's the time, your legs know. Book practice. So, the program practices are of a different nature that cannot be transmitted unless a certain amount of preparation, and it's a transmission, it's not a teaching. Book is a teaching. There is a big difference between teaching and transmission. Do not misunderstand both as one. This is a way of creating a smaller step for people. Because people are not willing to take one big step, one small step, they read the book and if some small things change, they may take the program. But there is no substitute for sitting properly with eyes closed and doing what is being done properly. And not only that, there is no substitute for a transmission. If something is not transmitted, nothing new will happen. Improvement of the present will happen, nothing new will happen. With Shambhavi, we are not looking at improving you. We want something new to sprout in you. Something that was never there with you till that moment must happen within you, that's the intent. The book is trying to decorate the existing, whatever you are right now, to make a little improvement. Most people are looking for improvements in life, they are not looking for transformation. Transformation means nothing of the old should remain, that's transformation. But most people cling to the old. If you are a creature of memories, you are a creature of the past. That means you are a dinosaur which is extinct. You become big because of your memories, isn't it? But you're extinct. What is the use? Dinosaur was a big creature, but doesn't exist. What is the use, I'm asking? Like this, if you live in your memory, you are big, but what is the use? What is needed is to reverberate with what is there now. Memory is good to handle the world. It's good only to handle the world, it's no good to handle this one, isn't it? You understand what I'm saying? Memory is good to handle the world around us. We need to remember what happened. What happened with this person, what happened with that person, what happened with that person, what happened with that situation and this situation, we need to remember. It is useful to address the world, but with your silly memory, you cannot address this one. It doesn't mean anything. This one you can address only with consciousness. There is no other way. Otherwise, you won't have this one. You have assembly of things. See, let me address something very sensitive. I want you to listen to this carefully, otherwise you will come to wrong conclusions. Let's say somebody very dear to you dies, or they go away for some reason. You feel like you lost everything, yes or no? You feel like you lost everything because you are making up a life of substitution. where you are not there, you filled it up with other people. When they go away, there is vacuum. But that's not how life is happening. Because you are there, only because you are there, you can hold relationships with people, isn't it? Hello? But now, in your experience, you are not there. Because you are a creature of memory, you can only remember this one and that one and that one. You can't remember this one. How can you remember this one? Because this is a current life. You cannot remember this one. Because you're handling everything by memory, you will see when one volume of memory, which was a certain person or a situation, if that goes away, it feels like life has come to an end. Simply because a certain amount of investment you have made in a certain amount of memory you have about a specific person, you will be on a treadmill. You'll get the exercise, but you won't go anywhere. Treadmill is fine, the weather is bad, but it's not a vehicle to go somewhere. This much you must understand. Memory is a treadmill. Yes? Memory is a treadmill. It is all right to handle situations around us, but you are not going to go anywhere with it. But human beings have invested so much in their memory, there's hardly a handful who will go with me on this one. If really, I'm saying, if you can leave the past as past, completely, if you can sit here just in the present, no past, you're enlightened, you know. That's all it takes. It's the burden of the past which doesn't let you flower into your full possibility. Just the burden of the past. So this is a good moment. This is not something that the planet is doing, okay? Yes, the solstice has just happened, that is there. But every day planet is spinning, every day it is moving. In the trajectory of the planetary movement around the sun, you can choose any point to get enlightened, you don't have to wait for this point. Yes or no? But anyway, we are at this point where somewhere in your mind you've been told it is significant. If you know how to simply sit here, without being burdened by your memory, without being a product of memory. When I say product of memory, your likes, your dislikes, whom you love, whom you don't love, who is your friend, who is your enemy, all this comes because of your memory, isn't it? If you can keep all that aside and let the new year blossom, you will blossom into a wonderful creature, spraying fragrance into the world. Well, there won't be any attendant music, nor will there be an applause. But if really beautiful things happen, who cares whether it is appreciated by somebody or not?